Hi guys, you might have enjoyed the first part of Nicola Tesla's Inventions. Let us continue the remaining part of it. Thanks to the great scientist who generated current in our modern life and made increased heart beating of our soul alive, who brought us from darkened age to light age, opened our eyes, visions, lives and everything, and the real heaven to the human beings, created dynamic energy in multiple directions within no seconds. So let us see next. George Westinghouse, recognizing that Tesla's designs might be just what he needed in his efforts to unseat Edison's DC current, licensed his patents for $60,000 in stocks and cash and royalties based on how much electricity waste. Ultimately, he won the war of the currents, but at a steep cost in litigation and competition for both Westinghouse and Edison's General Electric Company. Grateful to the man who had never tried to swindle him, tore up the royalty contract, walking away from the millions in royalties that he was already owed and billions that would in the future. He would have been one of the wealthiest men in the world, a titan of the Gilded Age. Tesla continued to work on his ideas for wireless transmissions. When he proposed to J.P. Morgan his idea of a After Morgan put up the $150,000 to put the giant transmission tower, Tesla promptly hired the noted architect Stanford White of McKim, Made and White in New York. White, too, was smitten with Tesla's idea. After all, Tesla was the highly acclaimed man behind Westinghouse's success with alternating current. He was persuasive. As soon as completed, it will be possible for a businessman in New York to dictate instructions and have them instantly appear in type at his office in London or elsewhere. Tesla said at the time, he will be able to call up from his desk and talk to any telephone subscriber on the globe without any change whatever in the existing equipment. An expensive instrument, not bigger than a watch, will enable his bearer to hear anywhere. Music or song, the speech of a political leader, the address of an eminent man of science, eloquent clergyman delivered in some other place. In the same manner, any picture, character, drawing or print can be transferred from one to another place. Millions of such instruments can be operated from but one plant to this kind. White quickly got to work designing in 1901, but soon after construction began, it became apparent that Tesla was going to run out of money before it was finished. An appeal to Morgan for more money proved fruitless, and in the meantime, investors were rushing to throw their money behind Marconi. In December 1901, Marconi successfully sent a signal from England to Newfoundland. Tesla grumbled that the Italian was using 17 of his patents, but litigation eventually forced Marconi and commercial damage was done. The US Supreme Court ultimately upheld Tesla's claim, clarifying Tesla's role in the invention of the radio, but not until 1943, after he died. Thus, the Italian inventor was credited as the inventor of the radio and became rich. Wardenclyffe Tower became a 186-foot tall. It would be raised in 1917, and the defeat Tesla's worst led to another of his breakdowns. It is not a dream, Tesla said. It is a simple feat of scientific electrical engineering. Only expensive, blind, faint-hearted, doubting world. By 1912, Tesla began to withdraw from that doubting world. He was clearly showing signs of obsessive-compulsive disorder, essentially a high-functioning autistic. He became obsessed with cleanliness and fixated on the number 3. He began shaking hands with people and washing his hands. All done. He had to have 18 napkins on his table during meals and would count his steps whenever he walked anywhere. He claimed to have an abnormal sensitivity to sounds as well as an acute sense of sight. He wrote that he had a violent aversion against the earrings of women, and the sight of the pearl would almost give me a fit. Now let us see his some inventions here. First, AC power, alternating current. Nikola Tesla's best known invention, the alternating current. When Tesla came to the United States, he worked for Thomas Edison in Manhattan and was promised $50,000 if he could make Edison's direct current. As it turned out, Edison's DC current was not as effective as Tesla's own alternating current method in transmitting electricity over long distances. When Edison reneged on his offer to pay Tesla to solve his DC power design flaws, Tesla quit and moved on to his next endeavor. He applied for many patents for his AC power discoveries, which were later sold to the Westinghouse. AC power has been widely used since its discovery and still has some applications in radio and television transmission. Second invention, Tesla coil. Perhaps the most familiar symbol of Tesla's work in the Tesla coil, embodied in the tower that was erected at what is now the last remaining laboratory located in Shoreham, New York, the Tesla Science Center of Wardenclyffe. Here, Tesla created a tower topped by his famous coils, which shot electric sparks through the air and circulated the electricity around the coils by alternating current. His work with the electricity reflected just one facet of his fertile mind. Before the turn of the 20th century, Tesla had invented a powerful coil that was capable of generating high voltages and frequencies, leading to a new form of light, such as neon and fluorescent, as well as X-ray. Tesla also discovered that those coils, soon to be called Tesla coils, made Tesla's coils, made it possible to send and receive radio signals. He quickly filed for American patents in 1897, beating the Italian inventor Marconi to the punch. Tesla coil, an electrical transformer that uses high frequency alternating current AC to increase voltage. Because of its extremely high voltage, the electricity in the Tesla coil can travel through the air, powering or damaging nearby electronic devices, often with arcs of lightning-like electricity. Through the Tesla coil produces extremely high voltage. The high frequency of the current generally makes it possible for most people to approach the device, and even by struck. The spectacular effects created by the Tesla's coil make the device popular for scientific exhibitions, but the principles underlying the coil were also important to the development of the radio technology. The Tesla coil was invented by Serbian-American inventor Nicola Tesla in 1891. Tesla was primarily invented in its potential to wirelessly transmit electricity, particularly for lighting. He hoped to build large coils scattered across Earth, each of which would provide power to any device with a receiver coil. However, he had little success with this plan. In 1893, Tesla gave a lecture and demonstration on wireless transmission in which he proposed signal transmission in conjunction with power transmission. He also obtained a patent describing the same principles, which he considered the first radio patent. Definition and function of Tesla coil. A Tesla coil is an electrical transformer or a device that raises or lowers voltage, which is a measure of electrical potential. A Tesla coil generates very high voltage, often in excess of any million volts. It uses AC electricity, meaning that the voltage of the circuit changes at a particular frequency. A model consists of an initial transformer that boosts voltage from power source and sends it to a capacitor attached to the primary coil, which absorbs the high voltage power. When the capacitor reaches a sufficiently high voltage, electricity flows across a spark gap or space between two high conducting terminals at a high frequency, creating an AC current in the primary coil. One of the key principles of the Tesla coil is resonance, achieving the frequency at which the device's primary coil induces maximum voltage in the secondary coil. This is achieved through magnetic coupling, also called inductive coupling. The two coils are not tied together with the conductor. Rather, electricity is run through the primary coil, which creates a magnetic field. This magnetic field creates an electrical current in the secondary coil at a much higher voltage. The secondary coil must have many more windings than the primary coil. Frequently, the primary coil has only one or two windings, while the secondary may have hundreds or thousands. The secondary coil also contains a capacitor, which builds up extremely high voltage, so strong that arcs of electricity flow like lightning from the Tesla coil to nearby objects. These lightning-like discharges can ever flow to people, but this is usually dangerous only if a nearby person has a pacemaker or other medical device that could be affected by the Tesla coil. Though the voltage are very high, the impedance of the coil is high enough that only a small current is produced in the humans who interact with it, and the frequency of the current is such that it has little interaction with nerve cells. A popular demonstration holds a metal rod in one hand and a light bulb in the other. Holding the rod close to the coil produces an electric arc. Holding the arc close to the coil produces an arc of electricity that travels through the person's body and lights the bulb. Fluorescent light bulbs and other devices can also be powered by proximity to the Tesla coil, even without drawing an arc. It was this ability to produce wireless power that Tesla found so compelling. Let us stop here. The session will be discussed in next video, part 3. Guys, I hope the content might have been useful and interesting to you. If so, please like it, share it and subscribe it. Thanks for watching the video.